formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Not sure it's created by. It might be created by producer or something like. Okay, well.
All right, so it's Dvorak.org/NA, channeldvorak.com/NA. We really appreciate it, especially the ever-growing list of $5 a monthers, 33. That is, of course, for the mothership. We've got our Lucky 30, and of course our $1 an hour. Go to the donation support giving page at Dvorak.org/NA. It really keeps us going, keeps us motivated, but keeps the lights on, more importantly. We use it to pay bills here, so really appreciate it. You know, John, we had a pretty interesting conversation last week, and it was about chemtrailing. And there's a documentary which it took me a while to get around to it, to watch it, for two reasons. One, it apparently is only available on BitTorrent. So first, it's one of those things like, I'm screwing with my mail server. I don't want to go find a torrent. Okay, so I finally download this thing. And it even started off a little bit like, too many. It's the kind of thing that would turn you off in a second if you saw the first 20 minutes of it. It's about an hour and a half, but then it gets real. No.
Usually the first 5 minutes turns me off.
Yeah, it could. It's called What on Earth Are They Spraying, which is I like the double entendre of it. But then
that is good. A nice title.
Right. So, but then they actually get into the scientific end of it with former USDA people, and there's one disturbing. So, okay, I can tell you the documentary in a nutshell is. We don't know exactly who is spraying us globally, but the belief is that geoengineering is in place, and aluminum and barium are being sprayed into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight away to reduce global warming. This is clearly not being done with our consent, and the proof that this is happening, and this whole documentary plays out mainly in California. They go to Mount Shasta and they go to different places. They measure how much aluminum is in the air. Now, the alarm level in the state of California, in Gitmo Nation West, the People's Republic of, is 1,000 parts per million. If there is more than 1,000 parts per million in the air in California, then the alarm bell should go off. I don't know if you knew that, John. I think you were, didn't you test air at one point in your illustrious career?
I was an air pollution inspector, yes.
Right. Does that sound about right?
For the government.
Does that sound right, about 1,000 parts per million?
Seems high.
Well, that's the alarm level. So if it's more than 1,000 parts per million, then all alarms should go off. The levels measured in California, and I guess I'm going to have to go measure my own air, 63,000 parts per million currently.
How do you know this?
Well, this is the testing they show in this documentary. So I have not done my own testing or anything like that, but they show the test, multiple tests. The one that was most interesting was Mount Shasta because the guy was also looking at the acidity of the soil. And to add on to that, which I thought was very interesting, aluminum, of course, is an accelerant. And it can make fires burn quicker, faster, and maybe even hotter.
Well, in the presence of oxygen, perhaps.
Yes, well, of course. But it is interesting to point out that the wildfires over the past few years have consistently gotten worse and harder to combat because everything just fires up so quickly because of the aluminum that settles on the trees.
Nah.
No? Okay.
No, the parts per million is incidental to that. There's no way.
But 63,000 parts per million.
But in terms of you breathing it, I don't care. But the fire thing is bogus. I think, though, the possibility of you inhaling that level of aluminum constantly and then also using aluminum cookware is possibly has health effects.
Dangerous to your health. So the conclusion, and they do go around the globe on this, the conclusion is that someone is spraying, and it appears to be aluminum, and the belief is amongst the chemtrailers, which of course we might want to change the name now just to make it a little more acceptable because chemtrail sounds like, just wacky kooky.
It's kooky.
Yeah, it's kooky. is that the atmosphere is being geoengineered for our convenience. And of course, when we find out, then, or maybe it'll come into play, it'll be like under the biodiversity, they'll say, you know what, we're just doing it all for you, and we're just trying to protect you, and don't worry about it. Of course, they're actually killing us. I did do some research on C-SPAN so that you don't have to. Picked up a clip from John Holdren, who, of course, is the shill brought in to the Obama administration. And what he says is concerning at best.
Reduce emissions and build up soil carbon. And there are some things we might decide to do, still quite controversial. One would be geoengineering to create cooling effects offsetting greenhouse.
Right. Geoengineering. We just might decide to do that.
Every time I hear this, I shudder.
You cringe, right? Yeah, we just might decide to do that. And we just might not tell you about it. Shut up, slave. What are you questioning?
I'm telling you, they're out to make a global cooling scenario to kill people.
You're worse than I am.
I've always felt this.
Yeah, they make a global... Wait a minute. Roll that by me again. I like that.
The idea is to create a false panic over global warming. You know, we already saw the global cooling panic in the 70s. That ended because it wasn't getting any traction, or maybe it was the facts, because there are still some people that say that's happening. Because we have these ice ages, that's what the globe does. And if we can initiate a new ice age, it's going to kill off a lot of people, and that'll get the population down by these population control guys. And so throwing a bunch of crap in the air is one damn good way of starting it.
To cool everything down, yeah.
Yeah. Just get the ice age started again. It'll come down, wipe out the British, by the way, and get rid of ferrage. And, it'll take care of, a lot of the population issues that we have.
Meanwhile,
freeze people to death.
Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger declared a state of emergency Saturday for San Bernardino County, where the water supply for the city of Barstow